Hi, I'm Dearborn City Councilwoman Leslie Herrick. Thank you for joining us for this edition of Meet Your Council. Today, I'm happy to say hello to Chief Haddad of the Dearborn Police Department. Thanks for joining us, Chief.
It's a pleasure to be here.
I wanted to say first and foremost, congratulations to you and everyone in the police department on the recent accreditation that you gained at the end of the year 2020. Before we launch into our topic for today, which is enhancements to the website, could you tell us a little bit about the accreditation? What does that mean and what did it take to get it?
It took a lot of hard work to get it, but what it means is that there's been 108 of the national best practices that we had to measure up to, and not only do we have to have them in our procedures and in our policy manual, but we also have to keep proofs that we have done what we say we're going to do. And many of these different programs here, the Guardian Tracking, Power DMS, they're web-based, and they measure officers' behavior, officers' performance, and that's all required at the end of the year when we get audited. For example, in the Power DMS, if we issue a new general order, every member of this department has to be trained in that general order. So they go into the Power DMS in real time, they check it out, they acknowledge they see the difference or the update or the amendment to the order, and it serves as a record that's permanent in nature. With our Guardian Tracking, it does two things. They identify officers doing a lot of good work during a certain work period. We get a flag on that. And then if an officer develops some type of wellness issue, and there's a whole score on what they look for, sometimes they fly under the radar, but we'll also get an early warning on an officer who may have a wellness issue. Traumatic experiences, started calling off sick when they didn't call off sick before, some minor difficulties or disciplines that weren't being exhibited prior. So when a number of indicators hit, we get an early warning to say, maybe you better call this person in, talk to them, make sure they're all right. And it's strictly about the wellness. Somebody has to be disciplined. We're on top of that. We know when something isn't right or when we can do something better. But the wellness component of Guardian Tracking is worth its price of admission.
Thank you. So this is something that folks are used to being able to search on the internet to find whatever they're looking for. Sometimes they find information that's not accurate, but we're hoping everybody goes to our official website for accurate information about what's happening in the Dearborn Police Department and to get information about how they might want to conduct business with the police department. There's lots of helpful information like phone numbers and processes that the department follows that you might find online. So Chief, why the updates now?
You know, we've been working on this for over a year now, actually, but we want to make sure that those citizens that want the information, and you're very aware that many citizens are asking for more information, that they have a user-friendly system here to get it. Additionally, we wanted to ensure that our department could update them so they receive the most accurate information on an ongoing basis.
Well, I know a number of different departments have different website tools that they're implementing. I'm sure some cost more than others and some are more easy to use than others. So how is ours organized, and how did you come to the decision about how you organized it the way that you did?
We have a great MIS department, and we have some very talented IT people working right in this building. So they set these categories up. For example, transparent policing. We have a number of things that citizens have brought up in the past. We put up a bunch of graphs that show traffic stops, for example, tickets. We got like 11 years of analyzed information in here.
All the topics that we see on the website are really important to our residents when they're seeking information about the police department or seeking information possibly on how to address issues in their own family, how the police department might be a resource to them. So let's take a look at a couple of the other topics that we have here. We have body-worn cameras. How is that tracked here, and what can we find out about that on the website?
You know, you're going to find out that we're entering our fourth life of body-worn cameras. We've had them for quite a while. I want to say we were the first police department in the state of Michigan to get them. With our first policy, we brought in our prosecutor, our U.S. attorney, our corp counsel, some community leaders. We we told them what we were going to do. We asked them how to shape our policy, and they gave us a good list of do's and told us where to keep away from the don'ts. And we ultimately got a grant from the Department of Justice to buy our first round of body cams. We're now in the fourth round. I can tell you that the technology continues to improve, and I'm very happy with the fact that anytime a citizen brings anything to our attention, we can go back and check the body camera footage or the video in the cars. And in 99% of the cases, I bring the citizen in here, I show them the footage of that, and they admit that they're just not so happy with seeing the police that day, but we did in fact treat them right. The last citizen I checked with came in here, the officers shook the person's hand on a traffic stop and did not issue a ticket, but some people just suffer an indignity on a traffic stop, and we know that, but I'm happy to report on that instant, as in most, that the officers were perfect and professional on the stop.
That's good to know. And so when we click on the body-worn cameras, what is this? This is the information that we see is about the policy, and that since 2016 we've been using the body-worn cameras.
Right.
And that's something that I have been proud to tell other people when we talk about our police department, that you had told me that before. We were one of the first in the state to start using body-worn cameras. And the input from the community leaders is really helpful in developing any impactful new procedure, I think, so that they can help spread the word that, you know, this is an accepted practice and among the groups that they connect with as well.
Right.
Could we talk about what do we have with substance abuse here?
On our web page with substance abuse, we have a long-standing partnership with Access. We do follow-ups to homes. We work with them to get people into treatment. Our school officers, if there's children involved, they come in and they check at the schools and organize with the counselors there.
So I think this is an important page within the website is department diversity. So what are we seeing right here, Chief?
Okay, right here, out of our 316 people, obviously we have 223 white, 60 Arab officers, 26 black officers, and 7 Hispanics. We've made great inroads in having a diverse police department that reflects the community we serve. And I can tell you that I'm even happier because we've given many more people opportunities to see if they want to be police officers or dispatchers. And, you know, there's a 25% turnaround in our whole department, but these numbers are much higher when you consider the many people we've given opportunities to. And I think that engenders the trust of our community and the respect from our community.
Chief Haddad, could you tell us a little bit about what is community policing and why is it important here in Dearborn?
You know, community policing is where you engage the entire population of our city to have solutions driven for their communities. And we get out in front. It's a proactive program to get solutions to make the city safer. And you can see here on our website, we do have all the block clubs, the DFNA. We also have a CERT team, Neighborhood Watch, Operation Identification, and every one of those is geared to get information from our community. Every one of these things are geared for a couple of things. Number one, to make the citizen and the resident much safer, and to get information from them on how we can serve them better.
Well, I know that that's a term that we've heard recently, the last couple of years. It's cropped up, community policing, but it sounds like that's something Dearborn's been doing for a long time before it was actually a buzzword.
Yeah, we've been doing it forever, engaging people. We have many advisory boards here that advise us, whether it's a faith-based, whether it's the schools, whether it's the security directors, even a media board. And we meet on a regular basis, and we take information, input, especially when there's a crisis afoot. We always include them for open discussion to see how we can best keep the community safe.
I think that those, all of those organizations like the Dearborn Area Interfaith Network and working with the Dearborn Public Schools and all the organizations that you mentioned, those relationships keep our community strong, and it gives us a really good public perception when people come here to visit. it's not something we talk about, but it's just part of who we are here in Dearborn. And I appreciate everybody that works together with you and in the police department and the city administration to make our community as strong as it is.
Thank you.
So thank you for everything that you and all the police officers and all the people that work for the Dearborn Police Department do to serve our residents every day, keeping us safe, but also providing a lot of services that our neighbors, our residents need just day to day. We talked about things like, if there were drug situations in a house or in, with family members, if people need resources to turn to, the Dearborn Police Department is always there, and I know there's always somebody at the desk who can answer the phone day or night if somebody's in need. So thank you again for everything that you do.
Thank you.